All right. Welcome to the University of Manchester versus UCL show match for the King of the North announcement stream.
Coming out, we don't want to deal with that. And then on the side of Manchester, we've got Ari and Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai, the new champion, incredibly powerful, very versatile jungler, and we don't really want to have to deal with that. So that's all our bans coming out. And with picks, we've got jungle coming out straight away, Lee Sin and Jarvan. What do you make of that?
Well, I think they're pretty standard picks at the moment. I mean, with the current state of the jungle items, they're pretty much the top tier junglers at the moment. So Jarvan, I think, is the premier pick over Lee Sin slightly, but Lee Sin's still really strong.
Absolutely.
And really effective.
The interesting thing for me with the new jungle items, this is actually, of course, the first League of Legends game that we've cast or we've seen out of University of England's esports, and how they're going to change and adapt to the new season changes. We've got four different types of smite now, different jungle paths, different jungle monsters, the raptors, etc. And I'd be interested to see whether they're going to go counter jungle. You'd expect with Lee Sin you can get a lot of counter juggling in there. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And Jarvan is a decent pick, particularly against the Lee Sin, so it should fare quite well. But I'm very interested to see their gank paths.
So just looking at the picks for the mid lane, I think it looks like it's going to be a bit of a farm fest. You've got Orianna and you've got Xerath, both sort of like to essentially wave clear and get their items going. Xerath's quite pokey, so maybe he might be playing more for the poke game. But
I feel like you hit it right on the head with the poke game, because they've got the Janna as well. Janna, Corki, Rockets, Whirlwinds, Xerath there. Then you start to think, okay, well, Janna offers the disengage, perfect for the poke team. Lee Sin, maybe not so much poke, but he's going to have the resonating strikes. He's going to have his kick for disengage if needed. And obviously with the ward jumps, he's also got very strong engage when it comes to late game and that mobility that you want from a jungler. Be interested to see who they pick for their top lane, actually.
Yeah, I think also the reason we're seeing people like Orianna, people like Xerath in the mid lane is because of this most recent change, the DFG removal. Which is quite a big change. Whether it's for the better or not, we'll find out pretty soon, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And AD, what do you really pick to counter Corki? Jinx is a good shout. I was sort of hoping to see Callista, the new AD carry, because the teamwork that you can sort of integrate with her and her soulbound ally can work incredibly well, especially with that ultimate. It does look like we may have a Jinx going in.
Yeah,
and the Maokai in the top lane, I presume.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be. And then also, so we see a Scion as well. So interesting matchup there, Maokai and Scion. Maokai looking to take that teleport as opposed to Scion's Ignite, which is... well, I suppose Scion has a huge amount of mobility, especially down the river, with his ultimate. So maybe it's... Oh, no, we are going to see it swapped up.
Yeah, I was going to say that I would actually be surprised if they picked that Sion because he's hard engaged, lane gags, comes at the whole team, just gets wrecked. The problem is they've gone for a poke team, so Sion doesn't really fit with that. It doesn't synergize with that team. Whether they pick the Renekton is another issue. Very solid top laner. Should do fine against Maokai, particularly in the early game. May get outscaled eventually, though Maokai, I've not seen much of him recently, so I can't really say exactly how powerful he's going to be later on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how that's going to match up as well, but we are going to see them all locked in now. So, and I don't think it's going to be any proxy picks, which is good. So Renekton, obviously a pretty strong sustaining top laner there, and so he is going to be able to deal with the poke a lot better than perhaps Maokai will do. Hang on 1 second, I need to move. Yeah, so interesting also that the UCL team have gone to ban out a lot of highly mobile champions. So Aurelia, obviously, with the huge dashes coming in, and Ari with the ultimate, Rek'Sai also with the ultimate and the ability to make tunnels and go underground really quickly. So perhaps they're looking to be against a team who's potentially less mobile, so their lockup works.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just waiting for the game to start now. Who do you think's got the advantage just off of the champion select, John?
Well, it's quite a tough one to call because I think that it's really going to come down to this top lane, I think, and I'm not too sure how this matchup's going to pan out for them. Maokai obviously has a lot more poke than Renekton with his saplings, so hopefully he's going to be able to out damage Renekton's sustain through the lane. He wants to win that lane, but I'd have to say I think that UCL have this much stronger team from.
Maokai, I think, is a very good pick, actually, because Maokai brings that AoE defense from his ultimate, and it's that sort of thing that's perfect against a poke comp when they're trying to poke you down. He's also just a huge super tank. He's going to soak up so much damage if they get to the sieging point. But sieging has changed now that the patch 5.1 has come in, and you've got lots of increases in tower strength and all this sort of jazz that's designed to stop these forever. The regeneration from Baron is no longer a thing, and now that there's no like a massive contention for dragon fights, well, at least not as much as they used to be, do these big AoE teams that control dragon need to exist? So that I wonder where Maokai is going to fit in, to be honest. But he should be okay to reduce the amount of AoE damage coming out of UCL, especially with that Xerath.
Out of UoM.
Pardon me.
That's all right. I think if UCL managed to jump onto people like Xerath, they manage to get onto Xerath, I think that the team fight most of the time go in their favour. So it's just a question of University of Manchester protecting their carries, I think. Though we will probably see Jarvan going straight for the back line, I think, and potentially Malco following up, although he may want to stick on his carries. That's the exact same.
Well, in the AD department, I'd be interested to see how Corki is going to play out. He's not seen a huge amount of competitive play recently. He's seen a lot of the new carries, but I do think he's still very, very viable. Item choices is going to be different now. I'd probably still go for the Trinity Force, but lots of people like tending to go with the IE straight away on AD carries. But Corki maybe not that way. Is it Jinx?
Yep, it is.
Jinx obviously going to hyper carry very late. We have to be very aware of the late game power of the Jinx, and if she gets rolling, it's going to be an easy game.
Yeah, and also with that, get excited. She is going to be able to just roll through and decimate the team if they don't stop her. As you expect with most AD carries, I suppose. So that will be very interesting to see how this bot lane pans out, and we're looking at Nani support here. So, but of course, with the removal of DFG, potentially that might pan out slightly differently. how we expected it to.
Absolutely. I think the removal of the GFG is a very interesting decision by Riot. I do sort of appreciate the fact that it removes this one-shot, overpowered, ridiculous damage option, but in terms of AP supports, you had things really like off picks, like LeBlanc support, and then also Annie, where DFG, if they got a bit fed, could do something really, really good for them.
Yeah, I think that it's all going to be able to. It's all going to come down to how well this Annie positions herself in the lane, getting that brush control away from Jenna, and making sure that they don't have wards in there and have the persistent threat of the Ibis stun or the normal stun, and onto Corky, so he's constantly in fear. Essentially, what you want to do.
The nice thing I do like about the UCL team is that they've seen this tour poke comp coming, and they've then gone for some very hard CC and hard crowd control. Oriana with the ultimate, great CC in the slow, and then you got the Maokai for the engaged. That flash W is going to be brilliant with the Twisted Advance. The Annie ult, as you mentioned already. Jinx has some CC with the Chompers, which, if timed rightly, is going to follow on very well. And then, of course, the Jarvan, the Flag and Drag, he's going to be jumping all over the place. And really, the only disengage they have is the Lee Sin kick and the Janna ult. After that, if you can blow up the Janna, which is very possible, and it's going to be possible to get onto her, you then might have a very, very good opportunity to engage on the side of UCL. So I'd be interested to see how Manchester are going to deal with the disengage and trying to avoid getting completely jumped on.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty key in there. But if we take a moment, let's take a look at the skin game here. So if you look at UCL, the 5 skins rolling out in force, so they do have the advantage over the 3 skin Manchester.
Of course, we know from experience, John, that how many skins the team has is very, very important with the outcome of the match. Manchester are actually letting us down a bit here. I don't know why it's gone with that traditional Xerath and traditional Corki. I'm not really happy about that. And does that mean that Manchester are already fighting a losing battle, is the big question. You've got 4 diamonds on the side of UCL, to only 1 in Manchester currently. As we did say, this is not the same Manchester team that won the King of the North in 2014. This is actually a newly generated team. So they are going to be getting used to each other, getting used to communicating and making the plays. And it's going to be interesting to see how well they do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty important in terms of how they work well as a team together. But I think they have been pretty hard at that grindstone in that practice which is really good. They definitely want to get into that King of the North and potentially win it, keep the Manchester title. But it is definitely up for grabs. So it looks like we're going to be getting into game in just a second now. All champions loaded, so we'll hopefully be getting in pretty soon.
Just a reminder, guys, that you are watching the King of the North announcement stream for King of the North 2015, which will be happening on the 11th of March. And that's going to be excellent. We're going to have StarCraft, we're going to have Dota 2, and we're of course going to have the one and only League of Legends. There's going to be a prize pool of over £1,000 involved, and if you can get yourself down to that, it's in the Manchester Students' Union on the 11th of March.
Yeah, so that is, I'm definitely going to be there, and I believe I might be hosting that, so see how that goes in the future. And I'm really looking forward to the event. It was great last year, and hopefully we can keep it up for this year. And I've been told that it's going to be even better this year, so do definitely make sure you check out. Make sure you keep your ear to the ground on buying tickets, and make sure you get in there, because I hope they're going to go very quickly. So make sure you get in there on time.
Yeah, you can also get tickets. It's 10 tickets for £10, which is for an entire day of gaming. You get to meet some sponsors, you get to meet people selling kit, you get to meet us, UoM Esports Society, you get to meet Gaming Society with all their kit. They'll bring Wii's and they'll bring Xboxes. It's going to be a great day out, 11th of March, King of the North 2015. But let's get back into the game.
Yeah, so it looks like from UCL, we are going to see a little bit of aggression here early game towards the blue side of the Manchester jungle. And there's pings going down. They haven't been spotted out, so they are going to move now round into that brush. They are going to be seen by that ward though.
Looks like we could be getting some sort of engage. Mr. TD seeing that instantly. Manchester now aware of where UCL heading. Could be seeing a blue buff steal, and to be honest, Manchester aren't really ready to deal with it as Renekton is in that top lane.
Zerath charging up there, but not really wanting to follow through with that. Ward actually dropped on top of the blue buff, on top of Manchester's blue buff, but it looks like they don't want to fight that. So they're just going to back off. Jarvan probably starting red or golems actually. I mean rugs.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I'm still getting into grips.
Make his way through a red buff eventually. Interesting in that situation, he's probably going to end up ganking, I'd imagine, either mid lane or top lane following that. Xerath, obviously very immobile, particularly early on. Well, throughout the whole entire game, actually. So, very good time to gank him. Maybe blow a flash or two.
Yeah, hopefully he will be able to do some amazing stuff there with his mobility. Lee Sin as well, starting on Gromp there. So they both want that little extra buff to help clear the main buffs from the champion. So there we see Xerath starting to poke down Orianna.
And the bottom lane kicking off a bit. Nothing too crazy. I'd expect to see some hassle in... Well, the bottom lane is not too aggressive. You've got no hardcore engages. You don't have the likes of Leona and Thresh, but Annie he can look to go at about level 3 or 4 once she has her stun and 2 points in his Q.
So we saw Renekton there doing quite a significant amount of damage to Maokai, although he did manage to heal it up. But it looks like Renekton is definitely going for that early dominance in lane.
I think Renekton is actually a ticking time bomb, because Maokai is going to get very strong. He really needs to make a move and get something working for him early on, otherwise he's going to eventually get outpushed and not be able to stay in the lane with Maokai.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be pretty key with the jungler's involvement in the lanes. It's going to be pretty important that they both sort the top lane, I think, because it's really pretty much a cornerstone for this game, I think, is in top lane. Orianna and Xerath, not too sure who should win that, but I feel like Orianna has a little bit more mobility and that little bit.
I think that's just going to be a farm lane, you know. Orianna, Xerath, they're not going to go crazy, which is another reason why I think maybe the junglers won't go there. We do see Lee Sin looking for a potential gank at the moment.
Yeah, so he's just trying to feel around that mid lane. Renekton actually pushing in, so maybe Jarvan gank there. Because Lee Sin seems to be just warding up the jungle, moving towards the top lane.
Flamesy from the UCL team has actually done something quite interesting. He backed after taking its red buff to pick up the extra smite item that would deal extra damage to all the monsters in the brush. So he's going to actually come back be a little behind the Lee Sin, but he's gone back and he's going to have a fast.
Stun lands onto Orianna. A lot of poke going down from Xerath. Looks like Lee Sin is going to try and want to go in on this, but he lands on a minion. Not going to cover anything like that.
Interesting attempt. I think Lee Sin maybe not as coordinated as he needs to be with his laner there. Came in a bit late and wasn't ever going to really hit that Q.
Xerath, though, not stopping, not slowing down. He does not have Ignite, though, so he isn't going to be able to pick up that kill. Jarvan moving in from behind. As we see, Corki gets stunned, but they are going to all back off with this.
Yeah, you do see Annie trying to be extra aggressive, but she's actually taking a lot of damage for it.
Jarvan jumped in there, slid onto Mr. TD. Mr. TD doesn't have any mana left. He is, however, going to be able to just walk away. Jarvan used his flag and drag already there. Orianna,
very nice play there. You see Orianna extremely low health. Kahan from UCL is going to have to go back, and Flamesy backs off to go farm his jungle.
I think that that was a slightly odd sort of prolonged engage in the mid lane there. Both mid laners coming out slightly underneath. I think that really probably wasn't worth to go for that engage. Although I suppose if something had come for it, it would have been definitely. But perhaps they were willing to risk the fact that both mid laners now have to base to try and get something.
Yeah, Oriana has gone back and she's picked up an extra Doran's ring and she picks up some boots and some potions. Pretty standard what you expect. I'd expect to see then a Chalice come out after that. And in the bot lane, we do have Flames. He's sort of looking for a gank, but he's spotted.
Yeah, Maokai there showing how strong he is in terms of that lane, but his mana is starting to get quite low there. So he won't be able to stand up for too much longer. Renekton slice and dices in, stuns onto Maokai. Maokai just healing up so much health, but Renekton trying to chunk it all back down.
Yeah, that was a nice little trade. You could tell Renekton wanted to go in at level 6, and he hit level 6. I was about to say he's going to go, then he caught me to it, and he goes straight in, but he just doesn't have the damage yet because he hasn't been back. He's just got that Doran shield.
No, he doesn't. He just doesn't have the burst yet. I feel like as soon as he bases, he is going to be able to do something. But Renekton still trying to find something. Are we going to be able? Is he going to dive this turret? Because Maokai does have his ult available.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of dive potential from the Renekton, but I don't think that he's going to be that ham early on. You know, he doesn't want to throw the lane. He wants to keep it cool and play it aggressive, but smartly aggressive.
Yeah, I was going to say Maokai's out of mana, so he's in trouble if Renekton decides to push him again. But he has now based and does have teleport available, and just get right back into lane.
Yeah, do see Janna going a bit crazy here.
Janna and Corki looking to move on towards enemy bot lane. Jinx using that zap, Annie using flash. They are going to be able to disengage. Lee Sin was coming in, but he isn't going to be able to really have an effect there.
Yeah, it's nice to see him thinking about that, but if I'm all honest, I think that was quite telegraphed. Janna is incredibly low, and they knew they had support there coming in from the lane.
Yeah, and with Annie approaching level 6, they really don't want to risk fighting her just as she picks over onto Tibbers.
Yes, absolutely. And Flamesy coming in looking for a gank, but I think, again, that was telegraphed a bit. Both these lanes really need to go back and get some items because they are just sitting on nothing right now, and they need to get that gold used.
Yeah, definitely. Corki sitting on quite a hefty sum. He is going to be able to pick up either a Phage, maybe a Sheen, unless he's going for his Infinity Edge. This will be getting a BF sword. Oh, Dragon here. Flamesy looking to steal it. Will he be able to get the smite in time? Lee Sin picks it up and gets the kill. So Jarvan there looking pretty hopeful, but it is going to be first Dragon of the game to Manchester.
Yeah, UoM there, seeing the chance to get the Dragon. They see the bot lane from UCL go back, and they think this is our chance to get a Dragon, get those stacks. And it was perfectly timed. The problem with Flamesy, the jungler from UCL's decision, was he came in far too early. He didn't really have vision of it, and he just got munched before he really had a chance to smite it. Good smite from the Lee Sin, and we do see some action in the top lane.
Yeah, I think though, Jarvan did actually have a level advantage, so perhaps could have outsmited Lee Sin, but just wasn't enough time. Perhaps too much CC there. Nice playing from Maokai in the top lane, actually managing to keep that Renekton at bay. Renekton really needs to stay on that farm and keep up, otherwise he is going to fall really very behind.
Yeah, farm is for most part is quite easy. You just see Sin trading a bit, but not really seeming to even scratch the back of Maokai there. Corki falling a little behind Jinx, and generally the junglers are even. It's hard to say with the jungle.
Yeah, I think that the junglers haven't really had too much of a presence in this game so far, which I think is indicative of the kills in this game. I mean, we've only had one kill and we're almost 10 minutes in. You know, quite a passive game in the scheme of things. And I think that, you know, if the junglers perhaps took more aggression, they could have done more. But they have both gone for that Ranger's Trailblazer, so they both are looking to farm up.
I think that's to be expected. You know, both these teams, they haven't played a high-stakes game in quite a while. The UoM team, this is their first big game back. I'm not sure where UCL stands in that respect. So you expect them to play a tiny bit more passive than they could be, but I would not be surprised to see one big team fight kick everything off and then the match go crazy. But here we go.
The teleport actually cancelled there from Renekton. The ultimate popped as well. Corki now looking to find something on towards them. Maokai actually taken quite low. Renekton has used his ultimate though. Maokai's is still available.
Yeah, nice little exchange. I don't think that was going to go too crazy. Renekton not quite sure whether to go the whole way in there, and then also Maokai backing off.
He seems pretty sure now. He is taking he has done quite a lot of damage there. Maokai not able to heal off that. Lee Sin in a pretty sticky situation here. Tibbers, and Ignite is on, picking up the kill
The
there.
last
Annie
tick.
picks that up. Very nicely played. Xerath moving down, but not to be there in time. Renekton in that mid brush. Will he look for something onto Orianna?
Yeah, not really sure what the Lee Sin was trying to achieve.
Stun lands onto Orianna. Xerath and Renekton both go in. Slice and dice. Flash comes out. The ultimate from Xerath to be able to pick up the kill. No happy feet there from Orianna. Going down to Xerath.
And now it all starts to kick off, John. You know, you get one kill and then followed by another. Orianna not quite having the happy feet, like you said, and Maokai doing God. Here's another gang.
Stun lands onto Jarvan as he does flag and towards the Xerath, but they are both going to walk away. Annie actually moving in now. Stun does go down onto Xerath. Isn't going to be able to... Jarvan isn't going to be able to follow up on that Annie stun, unfortunately.
I'm very happy with the way Xerath, Mr. TD from University of Manchester, is playing right now. He's playing safe and then aggressive when he's got support, picking up that kill on Orianna and really turning it in Manchester's way. Though it should be said that UCL are ahead in gold by 500.
Yeah, which is a small amount, but quite significant. Annie there, stealing away the vision from Lee Sin by taking out that the beat.
I think it's a crab.
A crab.
They had a discussion. I know that it was going to be an eel for a long time, said the Riot guys, and then they decided...
Flash, Tibbers coming in, like Jarvan. Flash, flag and drag. Janna ulting there to push them back. Nice disengage from Manchester.
Well, there's premature, and then there's that. Janna sort of using her ult and flashing at the same time. I'm not sure if it was really necessary to use both, but she did get out well, so that's good.
Yeah, I suppose if you escape with your life, it's not too much of a loss, but we do see Corki has picked up that Sheen first, so he is rebuilding that Phage next with that Ruby Crystal. Looks like we are going to see a gank on towards Xerath in the mid lane, or just a straight up mid push.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to rotate. Just trying to put pressure on, because otherwise Xerath is just going to sit there and farm all day, and they really need to get that tower down before Xerath gets to the point where he can just clear the entire wave. And knowing Mr. TD and his 1 kill, 1 assist, and good farm, that could happen very quickly.
Yeah, and I think Mr. TD actually, one of the older names in esports, in Manchester esports. He was here last year. I believe he was in one. I can't remember which Manchester team he was in. There were 2 teams last year, King of the North. I can't quite remember which team he was in, but he was definitely. I remember him being a very, very strong mid laner. So he's going to be carrying that forward to this year, hoping to bring it again to the King of the North.
I can confirm that he was in the losing team, so he's now back with a vengeance, trying to play some King of the North and then move on to win. We shall see on the 11th of March whether that happens or not. Annie just placing a ping. She's going to clear that ward out. You do see pings going down around the dragon.
Renekton now starting to be able to do significant amounts of damage towards the Maokai. Sorry, he has picked up his Spirit Visage, so he's going to be able to heal a lot more from his Q.
Yeah, both junglers actually going for the Rage's Trailblazer that gives you extra damage in the jungle, which is a little disappointing because I was expecting you see a little back and forth between Renekton here. Are they going to go the full way?
Yeah, I don't think they're both sort of just posturing at this point. I don't think they're really worried that they're going to die. Both do. Renekton almost has teleport available, so it's pretty clear that even if they do die, they will be able to have that presence in lane still. Obviously, they don't want to waste it, but it's still there as a backup. But they are both on significant.
Yeah, we do see the posturing for Dragon Knight now, and maybe go in.
Tibbers stun, teleport coming in. The whiff of the ultimate from Orianna isn't going to have any effect. Jarvan manages to knock up into Lee Sin. Their Maokai jumping in. Jarvan picking up the kill onto Xerath, so they probably will be able to pick up the dragon off this. Lee Sin and Janna there, both sort of trying to find something, but Tibbers just facing them down. They aren't going to be able to contest this dragon. That's the second dragon going towards UCL, so 1 dragon each.
I think that was really great awareness from UCL actually, because you could see that Renekton had used his teleport a little after Maokai, so he didn't have it back up yet. So they know that they could have that 5v4. So when Mr. TD started to play aggressive, Annie sees the chance and went straight in, and it's very well played by them. And we do see him pick
Renekton
up
going in
second
now,
dragon.
trying to get a ham on towards Annie. Annie taken quite low, but he is just knocked back there, I think, by the Maokai.
Yeah, trying to get a bit of an advantage, maybe just a bit too ham there. They are very low though, UCL.
Lee Sin jumped on towards, absolutely melted there from Maokai. Lovely play. Annie can really very low from the Xerath ultimate, but she manages to walk away. Really nice play there from UCL.
Timid Tank is doing a mental job, gets that engage, Mr. TD just nailing it, but yeah, Annie walking out of there with basically no health. Brilliant job by her, and we move on.
Yeah, Manchester are gonna siege this turret now in the mid lane. They have taken the top turret already and the bottom turret there. So they are ahead in turrets and actually ahead in gold, despite having lost those recent team fights and that dragon.
Yeah, of course, this is a very good play from Manchester. It is going to be harder to get those inner turrets, especially now with the updates and the new patch. But certainly that gold lead is going to help them as soon as they go back. It's interesting to note that we're going to have serious contention for the dragon, or should do soon, because if Manchester keep on letting UCL get these dragons so easily, soon they're going to have 5, and it's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I think that the second dragon isn't so important in itself. The fact that it leads on to the third dragon, which is that movement speed buff, is very, very important. So, can afford to give up second dragon, and we do see actually Lee Sin jumping on towards Jarvan. Xerath now trying to burst him down, doing a brilliant job of it. Renekton picking up that kill. Orianna trying her best to help out, but not going to be enough.
You can see the lack of warning from UCL actually not paying off for them there. They're not making up for the money they save from not buying wards. That teaches everyone out there, you should buy wards, guys, otherwise you're going to get
from
caught.
Xerath. Is he going to be able to find it? Renekton jumping on Maokai, trying to stop it, but Xerath is going to pick up that kill with a final charge of the ultimate. Meanwhile, Lee Sin is going to try and find on towards Annie. Tibbers trying to push him back. Maokai taken really very low under turret. Jinx still on pretty full health there. They're going to back off.
The balls on this Renekton I am absolutely loving. Dive straight under the tower. It said, Orianna, you're going to be mine. And Orianna is just too damn squishy at this early in the game. Renekton's already up there with his Spirit Visage, and he's got loads and loads and loads of health. And there's nothing Orianna can do, especially when they've got the backup the rest of the Manchester team.
Yeah, I mean, what was that you were saying about that inner turret? Be difficult? Not for Manchester.
You are so right. Well, obviously, everything I say is going to be countered by the Manchester team because they don't like me very much.
Exactly. I think that, you know, just showing they're really not affected by that roster change. They are still a very, very strong team. Of course, this team has actually qualified for Salou, so they have had practice before as a team. So they have been playing for a round. For this season at least, they've been playing together. Xerath actually jumped on towards, absolutely melted there. Maokai gonna pick up that kill. Not a lot that anyone could do about that. Xerath caught out of position as UCL take that mid turret.
Yeah, UCL finally getting their own back a bit, and it brings the kills 4-4. Good job, good job. They're still behind in the gold though, which is interesting because the towers that have come Manchester's way. But it's one of those things where if they do then get the towers, they're going to zoom straight ahead and sort of slingshot their way into the lead.
Yeah, but the moment the turret difference is so huge that it's going to be very, very difficult to bring it back. Actually saying that, it looks like they are going to be able to pick up this top turret. They're doing their utmost to save it. Jarvan is moving in behind. It does not look good here for Janna. Janna gets jumped on Cataclysm on towards Lee Sin. Actually jumping in there over the Cataclysm. Janna managing to escape. Lee Sin also looking to escape, but he is going to go down. Maokai picking up the kill. Are we going to see a return kill back onto Maokai? We are. Corki picking that up as the rest of the team look like they're just flooding in support.
Yeah, fight for rabbits from Manchester team. The Giant, she's not doing the best
Tibbers
job
going in, and Corki is taken really, really low. Renekton now in a bit of a sticky situation. Slices over the wall. Xerath looking for something, but he isn't going to be able to find it.
What a weird exchange. You see Janna get caught out because of not warding properly, pulls the rest of the team in, but then UCL fails to target the Corki, who's just finished his Trinity Force, has picked up the Sorcerer's Shoes for an extra magic pen, and is going to be doing huge damage, and they're not doing anything, and he's just firing rocket after rocket, and they almost managed to turn it around, and then Paradox, the Renekton from University of Manchester, managed to slice out over the wall very nicely.
Yeah, that did end up on a 1-for-1. and the turret though in favor of UCL. So I think they did actually come out a little bit on top of that.
Blue going over to the Xerath there. That's going to put him into a state where he's that Xerath that can just clear and clear and clear. Unfortunately, there is no mid turret to hold anymore, as UCL have taken that and now taking the top. And we do see the turrets getting closer to even. They do need to get down that bot and push that final outer turret.
Yeah, we do. We see Renekton now in the top lane, pushing out that lane, posturing for Dragon, making sure that Maokai has to protect his turret. Dragon is going to spawn in 6 seconds, but it looks like UCL have the superior position here, and not much Manchester can do about this at this point. That looks like UCL are going to pick up that Dragon.
They've got 4 pinks out, maybe not the best synergy, and we do see Dragon started off and it's going down extremely fast. Not
Both
sure
teleports coming in now. Dragon has been picked up. Maokai jumping in on towards Lee Sin. Renekton getting the stun. Maokai now half health. He's going to go straight in towards the carries. Will we see a kill being picked up? Xerath doing so much damage. Xerath actually being jumped on now by the Maokai. Maokai doing significant damage there. Jarvan also doing a lot of damage. We have Sirens in the background. Exemplary of the chaos that just ensued there. Very nicely played from the UCL team.
And after all that action, we only see 1 kill, which is crazy. You see UCL actually finally picking up the Dragon, which is their 3rd Dragon now, getting very dangerous. We'll get that movement advantage. But Manchester doing a very good job of still sort of holding off. Mr. TD, Xerath on the side, you can see was shooting, firing and firing. Gets a very, very nice flash as he waits for Corki to flash over the wall and then flashes back over. Oh, it's brilliant. Good play, and it was crazy that only 1 kill went down in that massive fight.
Yeah, I think that both teams really cut their losses quite well there, and they managed to. UCL actually managed to turn it around quite nicely, because it looked like Manchester had the jump on them for a portion of that fight, but they managed to isolate. Well, they kind of isolated, but they managed to get Xerath without his cooldowns on the run, and Renekton on very low health with him, so they managed to be able to pick up that kill there.
Yeah, my worry is actually with Paradox the Renekton from University of Manchester, because he seemed to be a lot further ahead of his team and was tanking most of UCL for a good few seconds before his team could really get in there doing damage. You see Lee Sin and Janna a good way behind the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think that junglers, because they didn't have such an impact on the early game, they didn't really manage to pick up that the XP or the gold that comes with being a high presence jungler in the lane. So they are going to be a little bit behind. Level 11 to Renekton's level 14. So you know they are significantly behind in terms of levels, but they are still quite important in terms of the team fight.
There's your 3rd tower going for UCL. They do manage to sneak it, and that will bring them back up to the gold. The gold difference now only around 600 gold, so that's quite good. And it's actually turning out to be a very even and interesting game. And I think we're getting to the stage now where we might see some really big team fights. University of Manchester are going to have to contest the next Dragon, otherwise it's going to get bowled away, as UCL already have 3.
Yeah, they've only got 2 at the moment, actually.
My bad, they only have 2 there.
Yeah, so they do have that extra pushing power and extra damage, but both teams have the extra damage there. But I think that third Dragon is very important, as we will see that movement speed just being increased there from that 3rd Dragon. But neither team is in the position to take that at the moment. Dragon hasn't spawned, so.
Yeah, support Annie going for the Haunting Guys. That's quite good. I think that's going to work out quite well. She got the Mobo boots, and is going to get some really incredible engages. She's got the mobility out there.
Maokai looking for something. Flash Tibbers coming out from Annie on towards Xerath. Janna trying her best there to knock them back, but it isn't going to be enough. Jinx picking up that kill as Janna managed to get away the skin of her teeth.
And that is the engage we were talking about. You see the Annie, the Flash Tibbers, flag and drag for the 2nd knock-up, and then bringing it home with a beautiful ult, Jinx straight down the middle, bam, thank you ma'am.
Exactly, and I think that UCL really showing that they are a team fight comp here now, which we were talking about in Champion Select. They really do have that very strong Orianna ultimate to rely on though. So if she manages to miss that, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but she hits it onto Corki. She is taking very low, gets kicked under turret. Renekton picking up that kill. Jarvan jumping onto Lee Sin. He has to flash away as the rest of the team seem to be running away, but Renekton is just going as deep as he can, flashing onto the Jinx. Exhaust goes down. He is going to go down. Janna actually picking up that kill. Maokai looking pretty bad there. Corki picking up that kill. A huge turnaround there for Manchester.
This is crazy because we said at University of Manchester they were a poke comp, but they have this Renekton who is, he's gone so ham and gone straight in and just tried to absorb loads and loads of damage. And then meanwhile, Corki in the back line, Lee Sin getting a beautiful kick. They destroy Orianna, and Corki is there the whole time destroying.
Jarvan gets jumped on towards Lee Sin, taking quite low. Annie moving in, trying to get something. Xerath gets stunned, and Jarvan is going. Jarvan and Lee Sin are both going to be able to get away. Although the turret takes down Renekton, starts targeting Lee Sin. Jinx with a hopeful rocket there down the mid lane. Hits onto Janna, not going to do enough damage.
Great job. I commented on how good Renekton is and how aggressive he was playing. He then gets killed by the tower. Brilliant job.
The damage from these inhib turrets is actually really quite strange. I've still haven't gotten used to it because they're now sort of more like a laser beam, and it's a persistent damage and a slow rather than just having a thing. Actually, Annie stunning on towards Mr. TD, doing a lot of damage, significant amounts as he misses his ability, a skill shot there. Q does land onto Annie. Annie looking pretty dire here, is not too sure what she was doing. 2v1, Corki picking up the kill, but Baron does go to UCL.
Nice, yeah, the Annie doing a really good job of actually timid tank from UCL, distracting most of the team and just playing around with them whilst all the rest of UCL just going to get the Baron, and that's going to give them a huge boost for the time being.
Yeah, I think, Dragon now has spawned, so both teams are going to be looking to move towards that. Jarvan, with his home guards, moving towards it as quickly as possible. Lee Sin is in the area, but Corki, Renekton, both still a ways. Lee Sin is in the Dragon Pit, so they do have position on it at the moment. Jinx just picking up the red buff.
Yeah, the interesting thing now, though, is Renekton does have his teleport, but it does look like he's choosing to walk down to Dragon, despite the fact that Maokai actually doesn't. So he could have chosen to split push there, but maybe they feel like it's not the right option right now. Or they might just not be aware of Dragon as Janna going back.
No, they definitely know that they're doing Dragon now. They have that ward there. Seems like they've just elected to give that up, so they are going to get that movement speed boost, which is a very, very important buff there for an engaged team, because they need to just get towards them for their Jarvan, for their Annie, for their Maokai to be able to land those skill shots, get the stuns, get the knockups, and being able to move a lot quicker is going to be able to get them there a lot faster, so they are going to be able to hit those more frequently.
Yeah, I do wonder whether it is a good decision for Manchester just to give that Dragon as Janna went back, but she has now picked up a Mikhail's Crucible, which is going to be great for the amount of CC from the Annie stun and the likes of that. And you do see Xerath finishing off his Zhonya's as well, so some big item spikes on the side of Manchester. Could be a good time to team fight.
Yeah, so Corki now moving towards what looks to be a bloodthirster as Jinx is looking... that probably is a Phantom Dancer there for her. Out of the Zeal to complement that Infinity Edge, more and more crits, doing a lot of work in terms of the damage output. Renekton, just look at his items, you can just see where that tankiness is coming from. I mean, he's got a Sunfire's Cape, he's got a Randuin, so like Jinx isn't going to be able to do much to him, Jarvan isn't going to be able to do much to him, and he's got that Spirit Visage, so Maokai and Annie aren't going to be able to touch him. The only person who could possibly get through it, I think, is Orianna.
And that is going to be Paradox's job on Renekton, really. He's just going to have to be what he's been doing, jumping into the front line, because nobody can really do much to him. And it's on
Flash
UCL.
stun from Annie. Janna with a lovely disengage there. Teleport coming in. Renekton, they are stacking up that teleport, though, so he isn't going to be able to move once he gets there. Does cancel that.
Yeah, that engage came out of nowhere. I was not ready for that.
Xerath ultimate, trying to find it onto Jinx. Will Xerath be able to find that final? He does manage to land it, but doesn't have enough damage to take down that Jinx.
Not a bad attempt from Mr. T there. Very good on the side of Manchester. UCL, though, getting the best of that fight. And we do see the gold actually going just about in the favour of Manchester for the time being. despite the extra dragons, and I think that does just about tend to be because the slight tower advantage on the side of Manchester, and UCL going back now, picking up some items. And we see a Death Cap coming out the Oriana. Now she's going to be hitting extremely hard.
Yeah, definitely is. And if we look at Xerath, he has got that Zhonya's, so he is going to be a little bit more protected and have a little bit more sort of confidence in that team fight, as well as having the Athene, so he is going to have that little bit of extra magic resist there. And that mana regen, which is so very important on Xerath.
Yeah, it's interesting that both teams have just gone for the standard jungler, 2 huge tanks, and they're all building Randuins. You've got going to have 2 Randuins on the side of both teams, and they're just going to stick with their 2 damage dealers. I think the difference is in the Janna and the Annie, because Annie is picking up damage, whereas Janna is picking up huge amounts of utility with Mikhail's Crucible. And I think it's going to be interesting late game, because Jinx is a hyper carry, and whether that's going to be enough to stop these beefy Lee Sin and beefy Renekton is the big question on my mind.
Yeah, I think that the main thing that is carrying Manchester at the moment is this Renekton, with his 270 farm near enough. It's absolutely crazy farm there, so he is going to have a ridiculous amount of gold compared to everyone else. Look, he does have 11,000 gold, which is, more than 1,500 more than Porky on 10,000. He is just so far ahead in terms of that gold, and no one on the UCL team actually has more than 10,000. Actually saying that, Jinx just picked over 10,000. So I'll eat my words there, but Renekton's still very much ahead of everyone in terms of gold and experience. Renekton looking to find something here. Jinx doing a lot of damage now to the Renekton, surprisingly. Maokai using his ultimate, trying to negate some of it.
A lot of posturing for not much action there. And we are going to see, this is where the poke wall really comes in Manchester. They've got the clear, so UCL are actually going to really struggle to push towers when the Manchester team is actually there. They're really going to have to rely on outmaneuvering them across the map. But you do see, if you look at the map, the warding on both teams is really good.
Over the wall onto Xerath, gets a kill. Jinx picks that up. Lee Sin kicking the Jarvan away, but he is going to go down. Who's he going to go down to? Maybe he's not. The Happy Feet coming out. Jarvan moving on towards him, does manage to pick up that kill. Renekton now taken very low, is on a 2v4 there. Actually now backing up with the rest of his team, using that tankiness, getting out of there alive. A 2 for nothing.
And that was UCL actually managed to catch Manchester out. You see, as soon as they do get to the back line, Renekton isn't there to soak up damage because they don't have to focus Renekton.
That was an incredible engage from Annie, I think. Got the Tibbers over the wall, some lovely vision onto Xerath. They just picked him off really early on, and Lee Sin was just caught up in the swing of things, and just taken along for the ride with Xerath.
We are going to see UCL back now, and Dragon coming up in 25 seconds. Hopefully we'll see a contest for that. If not, a contested Baron. They may even trade either one.
Renekton there just trying to stop the back, but isn't going to be successful there. See them actually try and push in the mid lane, moving on towards that turret. Because if you look at, if you look at the turret there, it's on sort of 500 health. So if they manage to push in towards that mid turret, it's gone.
Yeah, and that would do a very good job of opening up the map. Of course, inhibitors actually take longer to respawn now, so if they did manage to get him down, be even more pressure for Manchester, and they could really do with that right now because UCL are making some catches.
The Renekton also caught out another stun Tibbers over the wall, but he is just going to be able to walk away. And moving in, the Jinx Rocket, picking up a lovely kill there on towards Paradox. Nicely played there from UCL. Annie getting some fantastic picks.
Yeah, it's all on this Annie, isn't it?